Hey everyone, and welcome back to UI Spy, the series where I take a look at the UI of video games. Today, I want to do something a bit more different and get a bit more personal and talk about the Wii menu. Ever since I got the Wii as my first console, I've always enjoyed seeing how games handled their interfaces and menus properly, depending on what audience, genre, and aesthetic they're going for. User interfaces are some of the most critical systems to get working right in modern technology, not just video games. You know the Xbox One, remember how bad it was to just navigate between different menus, or when you're driving or walking when your phone GPS doesn't update? That didn't happen with the Wii. When Nintendo released the Wii and designed the menu for it all the way back in 2006, they nailed it perfectly. It's iconic to a generation of gamers, to some introducing them to the medium and sticking as fans for the rest of their lives. Why the Wii was a revolution in gaming has been talked about countless times on the internet, but how the menu affected that? Not so much. From a graphic design perspective, the Wii menu is excellently designed, and we strongly associate with the console itself. We can't think of the Wii without thinking about its amazing menu. And I'm not alone. I'm joined by me, a year from the future. Hey. Answer the question, how does the design of the Wii menu impact our generation? How does the aesthetic, design, and experience make this superior as compared to modern console menus such as the Switch, PS5, and Xbox consoles? We believe that the Wii menu has an excellent design that gets overlooked, including features that we could really use in modern interfaces, consoles, and otherwise. The Wii menu uses a small palette of colors for its aesthetic, using blue, white, and gray. This palette helps separate this menu compared to other menus we've seen from Nintendo before and since. The blue line separating the top and bottom half of the menu is a nice reference to the blue light on the Wii console whenever you got a new notification on the now dead Wii Connect 24 service. The large white background makes the Wii feel peaceful and also allows each of the channels to be clearly visible and pop out more. It wouldn't feel right if they used a different color for the background other than black, which was used for the SD card menu. The color choices also carry over to channels such as the Mii Maker and Wii Shop, unifying almost every part of the operating system with each other, similar to the bottom apps on the Switch. Another iconic feature of the Wii is the Wii message board. It was a major part of the Wii's interface, being featured on the bottom right of the main screen. Even today, it's a unique piece of the Wii's identity that we haven't really seen from any of the consoles since. The total time spent on each game or software is recording to a daily play history, so if you're playing Wii Sports for almost 24 hours straight, it will still be recorded at the end of the day. As more Nintendo systems were released, the activity logs got less and less specific with recording playtime data. The closest we've gotten to the Wii was the 3DS's activity log, which tracked the total amount of steps and time spent in each software or application for each day. On the Switch, it's just a rough estimate of your total playtime, only updating the amount of hours played in multiples of 5. Getting back to the message board though, other users can send you photos or even voice recordings if they had you added on their address book, which is a really cool feature.
Hello. How are you doing? We finally have voice chat on the Wii, and it's about time.
Xbox and PlayStation have their messaging systems, but back then with the Wii, there was a chill vibe that other consoles can't really match nowadays. You can even view photos and accomplishments sent to it from specific games, such as Mario Galaxy and Mario Kart Wii. These automatically created time capsules from us, allowing us to relive these memories in a time where taking pictures with smartphones wasn't as common as it is today. Looking back, the Wii message board is more capable than we realized, and I appreciate it for that. When you break down the Wii menu's design, it's simple and easily readable. All of the icons, called channels, are organized into a 4x3 grid to display 12 of them at a time. Pressing plus or minus allows you to view more pages of these channels at a time, allowing you to view a maximum of 48 total. This prevents the user from being overwhelmed with too much information displayed at a time. In terms of the hierarchy, the icons of the channels are evenly spaced out and are the largest element displayed on the screen, which makes sense since they are the most important aspect of the entire menu. The message board is separated on the bottom right corner of the screen and is slightly smaller, since it won't be interacted with as much as the channels. Same with the settings button as well. The SD card icon, added to later versions of the Wii menu, is grouped together with settings, as both of them pertain to data management. The SD card menu contrasts perfectly with the normal Wii menu, being a black background instead of white. It can take up to 20 pages of channels, meaning that it can store up to 240 channels total. Since there's so many pages, the page number is displayed at the bottom of the screen. Also, because the SD card storage is a lot greater than the normal Wii's, which was 512 megabytes at the time, it's a bit awkward to have most of your apps be locked to this menu and not be separate from the main menu. Unlike the Switch and pretty much any other console nowadays, where even if you have external storage, all of your games and apps are displayed in one place. place. It can take a bit longer to load too, especially if you have a lot of channels, which makes sense, but is still annoying nonetheless. Even the Wii options menu, or settings, is easy to understand and cool too. It's broken into two distinct sections, data management and Wii settings, which is pretty much self-explanatory. I'm going to take a look at the data management specifically. For stuff installed on either your SD card or internal memory, you see this cool menu full of animated icons and having all these cool banners and displaying the number of blocks the game or app takes up and a cute little tagline. Some even have the name of your game save, which is nice. I kind of wish this was on Switch, though I would understand why they wouldn't bring it back. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't really have the time or patience to look at stuff like this, but it's cute and has that Nintendo charm that we haven't really seen in a long time. Now, if you have a memory card from a GameCube and you have GameCube games on there, you can see those original icons return on the Wii too. Unfortunately, this screen is kind of bland, and while I love the cool blue, like retro, great aesthetic, I do kind of miss the way that the memory card screen was in the GameCube. It would be cool if you could mod it in some way. The symmetry and center alignment of all these elements creates for a menu which is easily understandable. Let's compare it to the Switch. It's a decent menu with clear sections for games and apps, profiles, and important features like the eShop and photo album, but it could really use a redesign. Only 4 or 5 apps can be seen on screen at a time, and to see more of them, you have to scroll using the control stick or D-pad. If you want to see more than that, which is only 12 at a time, you have to go all the way to the right of the screen, hit all software, and bam, you're just bombarded with all these icons. If it had the 3DS feature where you could just zoom in and out to control how many icons you can see on the screen at a time, that would be really nice. Because of this, sometimes if it's a digital only game, I forget if I have it, if it's just buried in all software. The Switch overall just buries so much of its features in different areas of the menu that can be hard to find, such as the Mii Maker. The individual channels of the Wii are also nicely designed too. Each of the built-in channels have their own distinctive color and background, and are animated. It's really nice, especially compared to the static icons on the Switch and Wii U. They even have their own jingle when you boot it up each channel. Which help give each channel their own identity besides just the icon. This can be found with the unique boot-up screens and jingles of the Wii U and other consoles such as the PS4. The theming of the Wii perfectly represents the aesthetic trend which was popular during its release, an aesthetic that has exploded in popularity online within the last few years. Frutiger Aero. For those who don't know, Frutiger Aero was a design trend from the mid to late 2000s, featuring skeuomorphism icons. In contrast to modern minimalist icons, skeuomorphism is set to closely resemble the real-world objects depicted, like how old iPhone icons used to look with the clock and photo icons. It's also famous for having cool aquatic life imagery and all these like old pieces of technology and nature. It just feels more at peace. The Wii does this through the photo channel, which uses a skeuomorphic texture of a corkboard with images of flowers on it. Bubbles and glossy textures were also a big part of Frutiger Aero designs, including the Wii. The settings and message board icons have a certain shine and dimension of them, so they're not just flat shades of gray. The color choices I mentioned in the beginning of this video also capture this futuristic and peaceful tone the Wii was going for. The light blue combined with the soft white background allowed the Wii to be a system that was futuristic, yet accessible to people regardless of their previous gaming experience. Certain games like Mario Kart Wii extended this aesthetic, continuing a trend of bubble-style UI in the menu design. Instead of depicting a globe realistically, Nintendo created a highly saturated, skeuomorphic-esque globe. I'd argue this globe is another iconic piece of the Wii's identity, being featured in the forecast and news channels. It also represents the Wii being Nintendo's first mainstream attempt to connect people through Wi-Fi connectivity. Yeah, the DS and GameCube had online support, but Nintendo really wanted to push it this generation. By using Frutiger Aero, Nintendo created an appealing, approachable design as Xbox and Apple did with their UI designs. The theming of calling the games and applications channels makes the Wii menu unique compared to other consoles which have come before and since. If you look closely, you can see the scan lines being in the background of the Wii menu and in each of the channels, giving off a nice level of texture, reminding us of what CRTs used to look like, as opposed to all the flat screen HD TVs we've seen for a couple decades now. It gives the Wii menu a level of personality and charm from Nintendo that you really don't see a lot anymore in any UI period, which is a shame. And sadly, when we look back at the Switch and it becomes a retro console, I don't think we're going to remember it as fondly as the Wii because of how boring it's presented. The grid-based layout of the interface is designed to be easily navigatable with the Wii Remote, the primary controller bundled with the console, again, making for an organized design which is accessible to a wide range of people, gamers and non-gamers alike. The Wii menu represents Nintendo's blue ocean strategy they had the console itself, where they set out to make a system that anyone, regardless of their gaming experience, can enjoy, especially with the forecast and news channels, or the casual Wii series of games like Wii Sports, Wii Party, and Wii Play. When you select a channel, you can also quote-unquote flip the channels by pressing the plus or minus button on the Wii remote, instead of having to go all the way back into the main menu and select the channel again. This keeps the user in a consistent flow towards selecting a channel that they actually want, and simulates the act of flipping through the channels on an actual TV, albeit much faster than a regular TV at the time. The familiarity of using TV channels also appeals to a broader casual audience that the Wii was going for, from parents to elder people to people who may have never touched a game in their life but used the TV before. Compared to a lot of modern technology, the theming of channels and a point-and-click interface makes it easily accessible for elderly people to use the Wii. From the menu alone, we can tell Nintendo intended to make a console usable by anyone, gamers and non-gamers alike. You can't really do that nowadays with modern consoles since streaming services are more popular than the cable-based channel TV, so the magic of flipping between channels doesn't feel the same. Let's talk about the background music of the Wii. It's one of the best songs Nintendo's ever made. Yes, I'm serious. Regardless if I'm working, taking a shower, or just straight up vibing, it's beautiful for whatever I'm listening to. It's bittersweet, but reminds me of a welcome home feeling that the Wii gives me every time I revisit it. In this age of terribly low attention spans and TikTok, it's nice to go back to an era when Nintendo reminded us to slow down and be like, hey, take your time, settle in, get everything you need, then go play your game. As opposed to the Switch where you're just mashing A to play your favorite game or app. It's disappointing to see that Nintendo hasn't brought this back since, especially when you listen to the Switch's main menu theme. Yeah, that's not edited. There's nothing. Like, the fact that Nintendo hasn't made a background theme for a console in a long time is really disappointing. My one criticism I have with the Wii menu is that it wasn't designed well when using a traditional controller, like the Class Controller or Class Controller Pro. You can't use the stick to quickly select between icons. You have to slowly move the cursor, then press A to interact with a channel or element. Also, not being able to use a GameCube controller on the Wii menu is baffling to me. If GameCube games are backwards compatible on the Wii, why do you have to use specifically the Wiimote and Class Controller for the menu, then switch to the GameCube controller when playing a GameCube game? Or vice versa, why can't we use the Wii Class Controller to play GameCube games, but we can use it on the menu? It's a slight annoyance that the Switch learned from this, and you can use a GameCube controller pretty much throughout the entirety of the menu. So if you wanted to play a game like Smash Ultimate, you can do so without needing to switch between multiple controllers. This is just a minor blemish in an otherwise near perfect menu design. Overall, the Nintendo Wii shows us that menus can be more creative and capable of just getting from point A to point B in an interface. They can be as memorable as the system itself, even more so, and they should be. People will remember bland and bad UIs more so than the good ones, arguably. So having some character to it with unique aesthetic or theme while still being functional is great. Any form of background music, even if it's minimal, also helps. A clean, organized layout with clear hierarchy is critical for any great UI, and something that the Xbox consoles have lacked lately, especially the Xbox One. Does the Xbox have forecast and news channels? Nope. With the Wii, almost everything is on screen thanks to the clear, distinct sections broken up by the contrasting colors. Now, one question I've been asking myself for the few years has been, has the past genuinely been better than the present, or is that just nostalgia talking and the present is actually better? Well, you can technically argue yes for both, but what I will say is that the Wii menu specifically has a different vibe than the Switch. Yeah, the Switch is my favorite console of all time and has a minimalistic and fast menu, but it's very safe. The Wii menu shows us that you can design an interface that appeals to everyone and give it a unique personality. That style and charm is what gives the Wii menu the legacy that remains with us even after almost 3 generations of hardware later. Unless if the Switch 2 has a dramatic redesign of the original and learns its lessons from the Wii, and DS for that matter, I don't know if anything could top or replace it. In terms of console menus, the Switch's is the fastest out there nowadays, but it can't compete with the charm found in Nintendo's previous consoles and boot-up screens, from the isolated Q menu design of the GameCube, to the various themes and customization on the 3DS, to the Frutiger Aero inspired bubble icons of the Wii U, and the pixelated animated app icons of the DSi. Although the Wii menu isn't perfect, it feels like the culmination of the best parts of Nintendo's console UI design. The lightning in the bottle of the Wii can't be recreated due to the years of memories we made growing up with it. What other console would be able to view the news and weather, vote in polls, view other people's memes and download them, and order food, all from a single place. Here's to almost 20 years of the Wii, with its amazing legacy still growing strong thanks to the homebrew scene, people like me talking about it, and older Wii titles getting remastered for the Switch. Comment down below what you think of the Wii menu if you have any memories with it, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more episodes of UI Spy. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'm going to go back to playing Wii Sports, so bye.